Happy birthday, Wolf. This one is for you. Enemy at the Gates is a 2001 horror film directed by Jean-Jacques and stars Jude Law, Ed Harris, and Joseph Fiennes. It isn't as held up as other films at that time, such as Mulholland Drive or Black Hawk Down. Not a lot of people discuss this movie, but I personally think this is a very underrated film, with some pretty shocking moments for the time. Anyway, let's start. The plot of this film revolves around a Soviet soldier named Vasily Zaitsev, played by Jude Law, who becomes a war hero after becoming published in a series of propaganda pieces. He comes up with this with his best friend, Commissar Danilov, hopefully I'm saying that right, played by Joseph Fiennes, and the two quickly start to gain some recognition. However, this attracts the attention of a German war officer, Koenig, played by Ed Harris, who is tasked with going out and killing Vasily, but Vasily is one step ahead of him. Also, to help him out with this, Zaitsev sends a young boy named Sasha, played by Gabriel Thompson, to feed Koenig false information about where he is. But given Koenig's growing suspicion, that soon proves to be very risky. Now, this premise is fantastic, and the way it plays out is just so very well done because even though Zaitsev is always one step ahead like mentioned before, Koenig slowly begins to suspect that the young boy working for him might not actually be on their side after all, the German side after all, and that is where the film is the most intense, seeing this innocent young boy in the presence of a dangerous war criminal. And given that Zaitsev and Tanya go through a lot of the hell together, as well as Zaitsev going out of his way to make sure she's safe and protected, makes this, in my opinion, a very great love story as well. I give plot an A. Next is acting. The acting in this film is also very solid. Jude Law and Rachel Weisz, hopefully I'm saying that right, gave some of the most raw emotional performances I've ever seen in a while. There's two scenes in particular of them reacting to the deaths of two people very close to them, and the responses were kind of hard to listen to because they just sounded so real, especially Rachel's. Holy shit. And Ed Harris had a pretty horrifying portrayal of Koenig as well, given that the character acted as though his horrible crimes were what needed to be done, as if God himself intended them, and that was pretty disturbing. I give acting an A+. Finally, directing. Ano gave a pretty atmospheric spin to this movie. Everything from the scenery to the acting and the music has a very emotional impact that almost takes you to the war-torn cities of Germany. He also did some shots in POV, which I definitely feel helped with the intensity. I give directing an A. Overall, Enemy at the Gates is a film that I feel deserves a lot more attention. Although slow in some parts, it's still a very intense story. It's also very character-driven, but not in a way that feels overwhelming. Because, I feel like that when there's someone with a lot of characters, I just feel like, if it can be a lot to take in, but this does it in a way that feels digestible. Like slowly reveals pieces and pieces about the character in a way that still makes it interesting. The film is available on Hulu now as of this review, and I highly recommend you check it out if you haven't. I give Enemy at the Gates an A. Thank you, Wolf. Excuse me, coughed a little bit there. Thank you, Wolf, for suggesting this movie. Happy birthday, and to the rest of you, don't forget to like and sub for more content.